Have you wondered about living elsewhere in your retirement? Well, we have almost daily. No, it's not a simple decision, especially when two people are involved.
Hi, this is
Gil
and Gene of Retire There, a podcast about retirement destinations. We live in Brooklyn, New York. Having grown up and worked in this area of the country, we're hoping to relocate when we're both retired. For us, it's the weather, the chaos, the noise, and the yearning to be near nature and not within 3 feet of human beings.
That's right. In February 2020, we embarked on our journey to find that special place. We spent a week in Winter Park, Florida, which is beautiful, but something said it wasn't for us. As we were planning for the next trip, the pandemic arrived. Gene then gave birth.
I gave birth?
To this podcast. With so many baby boomers retiring, many must be relocating. Why not connect with and learn from them?
Here's a little background about us.
I'm Asian, born in Brazil, and grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I'm an engineer turned attorney turned podcaster. I recently retired from a university career practicing higher education law. I love the academic environment, but it was time to do something else. I no longer have to set an alarm, drive in BQE traffic, or work with people who don't always share the same principles. Ooh, did I just say that? You bet I did. I traded all that in to binge crime dramas into the wee hours, just a little bit, to develop the podcast, to volunteer, practice metalsmithing, tackle our possessions. No regrets so far. Gene?
I'm not Asian, and as Gil mentioned, I'm not retired. I'm just plain tired.
Oh.
Born and raised in Long Island, New York, a place I always wanted to leave. I'm a law librarian working in a court who loves his job, but we're retired by the time we select our ideal location. We will be speaking to folks from across the street to across the globe who have moved to their dream venues and more. So please stay tuned, and remember, if you know anyone who has moved anywhere for retirement, let us know.
Thank you. Today, we'll be chatting with Joan Reid, who retired to the sun and sand of Vero Beach, Florida, with her husband, Steve. Vero Beach, with a population of approximately 18,000, is the county seat for Indian River County. It is located on Florida's east coast, about 200 miles south of Jacksonville and 85 miles north of Palm Beach. The community has unspoiled ocean beaches and straddles the Indian River, which flows along the coast and is part of the Intracoastal Waterway. It offers great ocean vistas and has a great deal of greenery, wildlife, and open space, which add to its attractiveness. The lands in this area along the Indian River are well known for producing outstanding citrus crops. Oh, we're thinking of the orange juices, aren't we? Parts of a human skeleton were found north of Vero in 1915. The discovery is known as the Vero Man. In 2006, an image of a mastodon or mammoth carved on a bone was found in the vicinity of the Vero Man discovery. A scientific forensic examination of the bone found that the carving had probably been done in the Pleistocene. The Pleistocene is typically defined as the time period that began about 2.6 million years ago and lasted until about 11,700 years ago. The most recent ice age occurred then, as glaciers covered huge parts of the planet Earth. Okay, that was really interesting. Nothing that I would have ever imagined to be in Florida.
Right.
And I know, Gene, if you were to move there, you would want to be near there, which is why we're probably not going to move there. But okay. And now a little bit about our guests.
Okay. Joan was born in New York City and raised in northern New Jersey. She graduated from Uppsala College and did postgraduate work at Fairleigh Dickinson University. By the way, Joan, when you were at Uppsala, which no longer exists, by the way, did you know legendary New York City DJ Vin Scelsa? Was he there at that time?
I don't remember. No.
Okay. Another time for Vin. Okay. After that, Joan wore numerous hats in education, publishing, and public relations. She was a college financial aid counselor, library page, and writer. She also volunteered teaching English to non-English speakers. About teaching English, Joan has said, I tortured a mother of 4 from Ecuador. but she gave me so much more. For fun, Joan hosted an internet radio show for 2 years called Cool on the Groove.
Nice.
And Joan plays mahjong twice a month.
Wow. That's great. You probably know it better than I. I only did it sporadically while my mom and grandma were alive.
In July of this year, 2021, Joan Reid published a book titled Joyful Passage, A Woman's Path to Retirement. I've read the book. It's really good, by the way. While reading the book, I couldn't stop thinking of Gil and what Gil has been going through after her recent retirement. Most reminiscent of Gil is the chapter titled Worry. Yes, Gil is a big worrier. She seems to have been a born worrier, but I assume that after her retirement, her worrying would subside. That has not been the case. She just worries about different things now. Joan's book is spot on in its treatment of worrying and other aspects of post-retirement.
Yeah, that is so true. At first, I thought you said she's a warrior, but no, you're just calling me a worrier. Okay, I'll take it.
You're also a warrior, Gil.
Okay.
Steve Reid was born and raised in Scotland. He immigrated to New Jersey around the age of 15. He studied at the Art Students League of New York and at the New York Botanical Garden. Oh, Gil, you always want to go there.
I know.
He was a drummer in a rock group, jazz percussionist, floral designer, and visual artist. He sat on international florist panels and did floral designs at 60 Minutes and floral arrangements for Pat Nixon when the Nixons resided in Saddle River, New Jersey.
Wow.
I wonder what Pat was like. Since moving to Vero Beach, writing opportunities have increased for Joan, and Steve has had 2 solo art exhibits, and more recently has been invited to participate in a group exhibit at the Vero Beach Museum of Art.
In May of 2019, the Reids, both 67 at the time, moved from New York City suburb of Pearl River to Vero Beach. The couple are not looking for employment, but would welcome income from her writing and his art. In this regard, moving to Vero Beach has been positive. They both enjoy reading, movies, taking long walks, bicycling, watching the wildlife in the area and the beach. The couple help their neighbors when they can with meals or errands. They take advantage of free events at the library and museum when they can. Joan and Steve are the subject of 2 articles on nextavenue.org. The 2019 article is titled Retiring on a Shoestring, and the 2021 article is called Retiring on a Shoestring, How It's Going 2 years Later. So, Joan, thanks so much for taking the time out to speak to us today. Would you please start off by telling our audience what led you to Vero Beach? Was it predominantly for financial reasons, or were there other important factors?
Well, there were several reasons. One was the weather, but predominantly it was the rent were getting higher and higher. We do not own our own home. We didn't then, and we still don't. Someone told us about Vero Beach. We visited some friends who live in the area. My daughter lives on the West Coast, near Venice, Florida. And it just seemed like a good idea at the time.
And did you guys look at other areas at that moment, or because of what you just said, it was just a pure no-brainer and here we come?
No, not at all. We really, earlier on, when we were in our 50s, we thought about relocating to Cape Cod and even Rhode Island. We were thinking north.
Yeah.
That's what we were thinking north. I'm attached to the Northeast. I like the 4 seasons. But then my husband developed very bad arthritis in his hands. It wasn't conducive. The cold weather was not beneficial to his arthritis.
Sure.
So we started to seriously think about someplace south of the Mason-Dixon line.
And is Florida, I know it's really quite different from the places that you just mentioned, but is are you enjoying the weather? What's the weather like year round? We know in general, but give us an idea.
There really are several seasons in Florida. We're considered subtropical in Vero Beach. We don't have deciduous trees where they change their color, leaves, or anything like that. But the weather, we go through a rainy period during the summer. The autumn has just started. Nothing like autumn in New York, but it is cooler. And winter is just superb. When people up north are shoveling snow, we're shoveling sand and having a good time.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds wonderful. I'd much prefer to shovel sand. Okay. So it sounds like it doesn't get too humid and hot.
Oh, yes.
But you guys
does. But the heat index is higher, but still I know that I have a family that lives in Massachusetts and New York State, and they still suffer with a lot of humidity.
Yeah, yeah.
You really don't get a break from humidity in the East Coast during the summer anywhere.
Yeah. Right. And especially since Steve is an artist, it's important to have the arthritis reduced or,
It's really helped his hands,
yeah.
Really, the weather.
Okay, so tell us about Vero Beach's housing environment. Are you in a condo or you said you rent? Can you talk to us about that? Was it difficult finding a place and so on?
Well, we were looking for something that they say affordable. Our choices weren't that many. We weren't in a position to buy a home here, and some of the homes go for over $400,000 to $500,000. Not a condo, that's expensive too. So we looked into senior housing, and we went to several places, and we found River Park Place, and it's really a gem for affordable. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and we pay under $900 a month.
Wow.
Oh, great.
That's great. 2 beds, 2 baths?
And we have a lake view. It's, a little south of us is the Greenway Lagoon, which is next to the Indian River. And a little bit north of us is the McKee Botanical Garden. So we have a lot of nature around us.
Sounds so nice. Can you walk to the Botanical Garden?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little under a mile. That's not a big deal.
You're paying $900 now in Florida. What were you paying in New York per month?
We were paying at the time $1,025 a month plus utilities. We had 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom.
Oh, wow.
The laundry room was like a little dungeon that you had to go to. We have a clubhouse here, and that's where the laundry room is. But if we chose to have a washer and dryer in our unit, we could.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of amenities here. There's a swimming pool. Currently, the apartments where we lived in Pearl River are at $1,350 a month.
Oh, wow.
And it's the same setup. Nothing has changed. Nothing has improved.
So in your Vero Beach apartment, you said it was a senior apartment. What do you mean? What do you mean by senior apartment? In
order to live here, you have to be 62 and over. 62 isn't so old.
No,
not at all. Is it a development or once you qualify by age?
Yes.
What are the
what are the qualifications? Well, you can have a lot of assets. You can't have big savings, but you must have some kind of income, such as Social Security or a pension. You have to be able to handle a monthly rent.
Okay.
But if you're over a certain amount of income, you're disqualified.
Oh, okay.
This is what my brother lives in. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Where does your brother live?
He lives in Long Beach, Long Island.
Okay.
A block from the beach.
Nice.
And pays less than you. It's based on how much money you have.
Yeah. And I remember your sister putting together that application package. It must have been a book. It was, God bless her.
But it's well worth it. He has a great place now.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
nice.
So is yours like his? Is yours owned by the county?
It's privately owned by a corporation called Highmark, but it is government subsidized.
Wow, that's
so that's
great.
How they're able to keep the rent low.
That's great because we just heard this morning that Vero Beach is a relatively expensive area.
Yes, it's affluent. Absolutely.
So you're so lucky.
You've got the best of both worlds. Yeah.
We are very fortunate. We know that. Doesn't mean that we don't miss the Northeast, though.
Yeah. So let me ask you, do you have to have a car or do you use public transportation by your area?
We have a car,
Mm-hmm.
but there is free public transportation in Vero. It can take you to the mall, to the beaches, to the supermarket, bicycles. I don't see any taxis, but of course there's Uber.
Right. So the free public transportation, is that to senior residents or everyone?
Everyone.
Oh, really?
Everyone. Yes.
So
Wow.
it's a Vero Beach thing. Huh.
Yes.
Very interesting.
And you don't even need identification. I think if tourists came and they were, if they had the schedule of the bus, they could get on the bus and go
Oh,
somewhere.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like those tour buses, you get on and off, but you don't have to pay a fee at all here. So that's really convenient.
Yes.
So how far or close are you to shopping supermarkets, for food, groceries, and that type of thing?
About a mile.
Wow.
Oh, that's close,
That's
yeah.
great.
Does Vero Beach have a nice little downtown, like a main street?
Well, that's one of the things that I miss about the Northeast. Where I lived in Pearl River, there was a sense of community in a downtown. In Vero, we do have an art section that is historic and part of the downtown. But it's not like I can walk there. It's about 2.5 miles, 3 miles from here. If I was ambitious, I could walk there or take my bike. So it does have a center of town, but it's really a lot of sprawl with a lot of different communities, people who have their own condos or their single home dwellings. The beaches are on the other side of the river. So you go over bridges, just there's 2 bridges that go over there to the beaches.
All right. In your book, you say retirement is not the end, it's the beginning. Along with that, is there a lot to do in Vero Beach? Are there a lot of activities? Are there museums? I know there's the beach, obviously, but are there other things to do? Are there classes for seniors?
The opportunities are really endless. And I do mean that. Or you can be as busy as you want to be. COVID-19, 2020, we'll just skip over. But if everything was equal, all things being equal, there is tennis, there is pickleball, there's the museums, there's community theater, as well as the Riverside Theater. There is entertainment on Friday and Saturday nights with live bands that play at the Riverside Theater, which is free.
Wow.
Nice.
And, you just sit there and they have rock bands, and I don't care for doo-wop, but they have that. And there is just so much to do. There's knitting. And of course, if you take advantage of the library, they have so many clubs and resources that people really should take advantage of.
Yeah, you worked in a library for a little while, and you said that was one of your dreams. I'm a librarian, by the way, so that made me happy. Yes. But one of the things you said you do is butterfly meditation. What is that?
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Well, it was only one time, but it helped me to do this. I went to the Environmental Learning Center here in Vero, and a yoga instructor walked us through the butterfly garden. She really made me focus and present on the fact that I was walking on the earth. Take a step here and take a step here.
Oh, that's interesting.
You don't realize that you're walking on something that is spinning through space, and through the help of gravity, you just, you stay put. And we were looking at we were looking for butterflies, and I did catch a few. In fact, the cover of my book has a butterfly that I took a photo of.
Oh.
It was, for lack of a better word, it was transforming. It made me think about things differently.
Wow. How long was that session? Do you remember?
Yes, it was about 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And it was during COVID.
Oh, really?
So, one of the things that Floridians were very fortunate to be able to do was to get out into the natural surroundings without worrying about wearing a mask or social distancing so much, because there was so much open space. Mm-hmm. But the beaches were closed for a while, and I'm not saying that I didn't get my COVID shots. I did, and I wear my mask still.
Mm-hmm.
So, you still have to be cautious and sensible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that sounds really good, that butterfly meditation. I'm going to have to look for
are you
it.
supposed to look at the butterflies and meditate? How did that work exactly?
Well, it was called butterfly meditation, but it was to be submerged in greenery and the canopy of the palm trees, and just to, if you could meditate on a butterfly, butterflies are pretty flighty.
Yeah.
But just to soak it up and meditate on the environment. And, she said, don't think about the laundry, what you're making for dinner, your neighbors. Don't think about anything but where you are right this instant. Mm-hmm. She said, don't think about COVID. So it was, it was very, very refreshing.
Yeah. All the mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I have tried and tried and tried, and it's still not quite settling for me. But that's because I'm a control freak. So I think once I can let go a little bit, I will hopefully find the peace. But you're right. A one session could do it. I mean, you had 90 minutes, so that was good. It wasn't just like a 15-minute app or something that comes and goes, Yeah. Yeah.
Well, It's difficult to meditate when you're in communications, Gil. Mm-hmm. You're involved with communications, and it's hard to unplug.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Mm-hmm. But, we still have many hours in the day. It's just a matter of parceling your time better, right? That's another story.
And speaking of things to do, one of the activities I like is eating. You're from New York, well, part of New York, and so can you get a good slice of pizza down in Vero Beach?
Oh my goodness, that is so. No.
I love you.
I have a funny story. About a month ago, it was around noon, all right? And I walked into a pizzeria, and I just wanted a slice of pizza. Now, you could walk into a pizzeria at 11 o'clock in the morning in New York, and you could get a slice of pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They told me, I'm sorry, we didn't make them yet. And it was noon. It's like, what do you mean you didn't make the pizza?
That's great.
No, funny. It's not the same. I had a pizza from Panera's, and that was like, I don't know, eating cheese on styrofoam. I don't know.
I like Panera though. Don't put them down.
Yeah, but she's talking about a true New Yorker.
Yeah,
come on, Gene.
Yeah, it's true.
Gene loves pizza. I mean, there is no stopping him. And of course, we're in Brooklyn, so there's no shortage of. Oh my God, I keep saying we're going to move soon, so you better have your share. And
don't worry about that.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All the carbs is going nowhere. Trust me.
What food can you get that's good down there? It's probably good seafood, right?
Yes, there's good seafood. There's a lot of seafood restaurants. A lot of them, they have the beachfront and lakeside views, so that makes it more pleasurable, and it may distract you from the actual food. And they are pricey, but one of the things I'm so sorry, but you see, I'm not sorry, but I love to cook, but I'm getting a little weary of it these days. And so last year I did a lot of cooking at home because we weren't going anywhere. There were no restaurants open, or if you wanted to. And this year it's been very dicey. I don't know. I think I see Panera in my near future. What can I say?
You seem to say, I think in your book, that the food was a little more expensive down in Vero Beach than it was in New York. Is that so?
Truly. In the at Publix. Publix is almost a monopoly of supermarkets chain that's down here. And up north for us was ShopRite. And I don't know if you're familiar with ShopRite.
Yeah, sure.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, we have them.
Well, they have such variety in ShopRite. And where we lived was an Irish enclave. So many people from Ireland live in Pearl River. But there was a lot of Spanish, there was such a variety of ethnicity and foods available.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Publix, the variety isn't there. So you end up spending more money because you don't want the tiny bottle. So you end up buying the larger bottle, which is more costly. They have BOGOs, which is buy one, get one free.
Sure.
I tend to be a little smart aleck. I said to them, can I just have the free one? And they said no. It is more expensive. And what's really strange is that you go into Publix to get oranges. You spoke about that with the citrus area, and we are. Indian River citrus is well known. I went up to the manager and I asked, why is this orange have a sticker on it that says from Chile? I mean, here we are in Florida. Why don't you have Florida oranges?
Right.
And he says, well, the transportation, the scarcity, I don't know. But it is more expensive. But everything is more expensive everywhere from what I hear.
Yes.
So just going back to that a second, what would be the cost for the oranges? I know like up here, you can get navel oranges, which are the big ones.
Yes.
Like you can get them 4 for $4 or 4 for $5. Would you say it's around there or?
Yeah, I would say it's 4 for $5.
Okay.
That's $1 an orange, and that's a lot of money. And
right, yeah.
At least they're not charging you by the pound.
Right. Oh, yeah. They're heavy. Yeah. Well, I see those as because our son, when he was living at home, he loved them. I figured, if I could get him to eat 4 a week, it would be good. So I was like, yeah, it's a bargain, But when you think about it, $1 for an orange, that's quite a bit of money. Yeah. And in foreign countries, that would be a joke,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So where else do you go for shopping for groceries other than Publix? Are there like local little bodegas or, things like that?
Yes. There's a Fresh Market, which is a smaller type of supermarket. It's very tiny. There's Winn-Dixie. There's the Dollar General. Has a lot of food there, but a lot of it is processed. But they do have good yogurt and milk and some bread and wine and sodas, things like that. There's farms. There's local farms around here that are really within driving distance, and you get fresh produce. And that's nice because they grow it right from their farm and they're selling it. And we have farmers markets.
Oh, nice.
On Saturdays, which is very nice. And it's all fresh produce and baked goods and
so you can go
and plants.
Wow.
Yeah, you can weekly with your weekly stuff. Yeah.
I know you're dying to ask, Gil. Is there a Trader Joe's?
I don't know. But I wish there was a Trader Joe. I've tried to look for it. It might be in Florida, but it's not in Vero. Yeah. And one of the things I miss from Trader Joe is their pumpkin butter.
Oh, they have pumpkin everything.
Yes, I know.
In fact, I'm going tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah. I need a Trader Joe's run. Okay. So let's talk about healthcare. I assume, for many people, Florida is known for healthcare, but we are interviewing quite a good number of people from Florida. But let's talk about Vero Beach and healthcare. Can you share that with the audience?
Yes, the healthcare is excellent down here in Vero Beach. Good. There is a lot of doctors of every kind of discipline down here. The hardest thing is nailing them down long enough to become your regular doctor, because they either leave the practice because they don't want to be part of the Cleveland Clinic hospital, or they're retiring.
Okay. Because I was going to say the Cleveland Clinic is great, right?
It is, but it adds a tier of additional costs. They're very dogmatic, or for lack of a better word, they are in control of the doctors, how long they can see each patient. Yeah. They want the doctors to, go very quickly, so that they can get as many patients as possible.
I know, it's horrible. My physician is part of a network, and she's been reminded that 20 minutes, and don't get too much into it. And I just feel so stressed when I go see her, even for my annual. Well, during the annual, at least there's a little breathing. If I have, an unexpected something and I go see her, it's like first hard to get in to see her. Then secondly, I can tell that she's looking at the clock. And so my anxiety goes up, and I'm thinking, all right, give me more of those anti-anxiety meds while we're at it. So, okay. But it's abundant. Healthcare is abundant.
Yes.
But like you said, it's just a matter of becoming familiar or, just getting used to that way of life.
Is there a hospital right in Vero Beach?
Yes. Cleveland Clinic.
Oh.
It's just maybe 2 miles from here by car.
That's
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a street before where Cleveland Clinic is located. It's called Miracle Mile. And I always used to think that was where the doctors were. But that's where all the shopping is. There's a bookstore and a lot of little shops that are liquor stores, very, boutiques, things like that. The hospital's at 37th. And but I think they should be called Miracle Mile.
Yes.
Really? I so agree with you.
Funny.
I mean, I don't need like a dress as a miracle. That is too funny.
Okay. What about when you want to get out of Vero? How far is the nearest airport?
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Well, there's West Palm Beach Airport and there's Orlando Airport. And Vero has its own airport, but it's limited. There is no train service out of Vero, which they're trying to change. And I wish there was more train service throughout Florida, but I don't see that in the foreseeable future. So if you want to get out of town, you got to get into your car.
And how far is West Palm, the airport there?
I think it's about 60 miles south from here.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
And how about Orlando? How far is that?
Orlando is I think about 100 miles north of us.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So nothing's really that close.
No.
I mean, when you were in Pearl River, would you go to
Westchester?
Westchester. Okay,
Yeah.
not LaGuardia or...
No, we used to go to Westchester Airport or Newark.
Oh.
There's public transportation as far as buses are concerned. I really haven't had a reason to use it. So, but I know it's available.
Okay.
And because some of my neighbors, they don't have cars.
Right.
And they don't have a license anymore. Not everybody's just 62. Some of my neighbors are 82 and even 92.
Wow. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I wouldn't be driving.
They rely on public transportation or people taking them.
Okay. Let's talk about transportation. Let's talk a little about when you first moved to Vero Beach and getting rid of stuff. In your book, you say, I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was freeing about getting rid of stuff. Can you talk a little about that?
Sure. Not until you decide to move, and I don't know how long you've lived where you are, but if you've lived even a couple of years, you accumulate things, whether you want to or not. Over the years, over my adult years, I had accumulated a lot of stuff, and it was freeing just to give away things. I'm not a hoarder. I just wanted to give things away. And it was like a fresh start for us. But even so, we had so much stuff to pack into our little Subaru that I think I mentioned I felt like we were the Beverly Hillbillies moving out of New York down to Florida.
Yes. That's so funny.
Yeah. We've been hearing that a lot, and we're trying to get rid of stuff. And I have to tell you, it is not easy. It's so hard to just say banish. And I love stationery, and I love all those kinds. I'm sure you do like journals and writing instruments and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like I'm attached to them. So at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, and we're not going to be able to fit everything into our, we used to have a Subaru, into our Volkswagen, we're going to be crying.
Yes.
Now that you've gotten rid of a lot of stuff through the move, and you're in Vero Beach, are you accumulating a lot more stuff, or are you careful about that?
Guilty. I've been accumulating
Oh,
stuff
no.
again.
No.
We have shells, all kinds of things. Don't ever get to be artsy craftsy, because that's a sure way to accumulate things.
Are you accusing your husband, who's an artist, of being the one who accumulates the most stuff?
Yes. We have a storage closet that's really designated for our washer and dryer, but it is used for Steve's art pieces. Plus, he uses the back bedroom as a studio. If I allowed him, he would take over the entire apartment.
Wait, so you're not responsible for any of that? Or you just like a computer, a laptop, and pen and paper?
And books.
And books. Okay. Well, books can be a lot. Books can be a lot.
Yes. I'm a minimalist.
Oh, are you? Are you really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is that
try to be?
Is that new since you moved? Oh.
No, I've always liked a uncluttered look, and it could look a little sparse or sterile, but it just clears my head not having too much stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I so agree with you. And let's just say we're trying. Okay.
A lot of people move somewhere because of their family. You said your daughter is across the state in the western part of Florida. Is that really one of the main reasons you moved to Florida, because she was there?
If it was the main reason, I would have lived on the West Coast, because we're a 3-hour drive from each other.
Mm.
I do have a friend in Florida who lives in Vero, who I've known since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, she and we sat at the same kindergarten table, and we've been friends. I saw you, Gene. You looked at Gil like, I don't know what that meant.
That you guys have stayed in touch for so long. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's, like any other long-term relationship, it has its bumpy times and its great times.
Was she up in the north as well? Oh, yes, she was, because kindergarten. Yeah.
Yes, we lived in Hackensack. Then she moved to Dumont when I lived in Dumont, New Jersey, and I was there for 18 years. So we never really had a long separation that we didn't see each other.
Wow.
Or keep in touch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But moving to Florida was a big separation from Steve's grandchildren and his children and my brothers.
Oh, okay. Okay. But it's only a flight away, right?
Yeah, right.
You are so funny. You are so funny.
It's only a fight away.
Yeah. So. Oh, you're so right about that. Thank God for social media.
Yes.
other ways of staying in touch. Okay.
Yes.
In terms of recreation, and we know there's the arts and all that. Are you near parks and where people can go for long hikes, as well as if I wanted to take courses, let's say in ceramics? How is that accessible? I know I threw in two things there, but
yeah, there are some small studios in the art district where you can pursue that kind of interest, and as well as there are classes at the Vero Beach Art Museum.
Nice.
And there is a community college in Vero Beach that has continuing ed for adults.
Oh, good.
Which some classes are free and some are, of course, for a fee.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So
there are ways. There aren't a lot of trails. There is the Jungle Trail, which I still have to go on, but with my bicycle with a group.
Okay.
And,
oh, wow.
Because one of my biggest fears is alligators.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
That's all Gene talks about. Oh, I can't wait to see them. I'm like, yeah, right. Get close.
Yeah. For people out there, when you go to Orlando, forget about Disney, forget about these other places. Go to Gatorland.
Yeah, and we've been there.
The best attraction.
Please. I see all these videos of alligators, crocodiles, which are not the same, and how they have gobbled humans. I can keep them in a zoo for all I care. All right. So you haven't gone on this trail. Why? Because you've heard that they are frequently there, or they frequent the area?
No, I just haven't had a chance to go with a group because I wouldn't go on the jungle trail by myself or even alone with my husband. But I have gone on the lagoon trail with my bicycle and with my husband. So that's nice.
That sounds scary too, lagoon.
Yeah.
No crops there, huh?
There's a sign there, you get unusual street signs in Florida. There's a sign as you come off the one of the bridges. It says, do not molest or feed the alligators.
Oh, God. That is so strange.
Hey, there are some strange people in Florida, Gil. I don't know about this place.
In the lagoon, it says, do not feed the alligators. And I think, okay, no kidding.
Oh,
so,
God. Oh, okay.
Who's going to molest an alligator anyway?
That's a joke. I don't think you'll be getting close to molesting it. Try thinking of it the other way around.
But that's the exact words on the sign.
Oh,
yeah.
Do not molest the alligator.
Really? That is so interesting, I'll say. Okay. All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot. I learned a lot about Vero Beach and more. Do you have any parting words of wisdom for people who wish to relocate for retirement?
Well, I would say if you can age in place, if you can afford to, stay where you are. Mm-hmm. If you can't, consider the climate and the health care first, and then the cost of living.
Right. Those are so important. You're right. Okay. Well, on that note, Joan Reid, I am so happy to have met you. I'm glad our paths crossed, and we will be in touch.
Yeah. And don't forget to buy the book, Joyful Passage by Joan Reid.
That's right. All right, Joan, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gil.
Okay. Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you know someone who's relocated for retirement and wishes to share their story with us, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is gg@retirethere.com. Our website is retirethere.com, and you may follow us on Twitter @retirethere_. Now, if you've liked our show, please subscribe and rate it in Apple Podcasts. In the meantime, be well.